Old belief says that anyone who does something continuously for 40 days has institutionalized the habit of doing it, but now, after this period of home quarantine, new good or bad habits have been created in people, some of which must be addressed as Corona's lifestyle for a limited time, but others can be preserved in the post-Corona period. The outbreak of the coronavirus and its replacement led to a new lifestyle, the way of life that all the people of the world are required to observe regardless of their distinctive characteristics. Contrary to everyday habits and the need to cope with the less common situation, life has affected the smallest and most natural areas of human life. Observance of specific hygiene tips such as using masks and gloves and the need to wash the hands at regular intervals, avoiding limited community and life within the home and family, closing schools and the need to define. Subscribe our YouTube channel to watch the rest of this video and more. New educational tips for treating children are part of life's guidelines at the time of outbreak of this disease. The forced closure of business has also caused people to try other ways to spend their time, things they used to like but they didn't have time to do it, or things they had to try because they had no choice. Many people share their ways of coping with Corona on web pages and invite others to the good habits they have found in quarantine, such as cultural activities, new games for more family members to interact with, and more importance in cleaning or trying different home foods during restaurant closures. A director told about his experience with new habits during the Corona outbreak. Given my usual lifestyle before the Corona outbreak, it's not hard to bear the current situation. He continued, of course, unlike the past, you can't visit friends or family, and this is the most painful problem of this life during the Corona. Nothing that his cultural activities have increased since his stay at home, the theater director said. I watch more movies than before as I read more than ever. I hope this trend will continue in the post-Corona. Referring to the negative habits in life, he said, disruption of sleep and wakefulness, which is very distressing, as well as addiction to cyberspace and excessive follow-up of news and events has become a bad habit, which I hope will reach normal life change. A teacher who is currently in virtual contact with his students due to the closure of schools said, Corona's prevalence has created limitations for human beings that have affected the whole world, regardless of economic and social facilities, and the experience of this strange, vague and ambiguous epidemic is. He called it the Corona to get used to a common global experience, adding, humans have come to realize in the simplest and the deepest way how much they can affect each other's lives. Because the world has not seen such a situation for at least the last century, it has faced many difficulties that have been common to all nations for the first time, he said. He recalled the positive habits and he had developed in his life and wanted to continue them after Corona, explaining, I have learned to get to know people better and to follow certain principles in my relationships. I also realized the important role of silence in life and realized that silence is essential to achieving peace and slowing down the pace of urban life, and I will maintain this desire to break the silence after Corona. Comparing the state of home quarantine to a kind of meditation, he said, nature seems to want us to stay at home so that it can rebuild itself and compensate for the damage that man has done to it. He described love as an important principle that he realized with the spread of Corona, adding, social distance made us understand the importance of unconditional love for family members and friends, and the habit of doing so. Using it in our life after Corona can also give better quality to family and social relationships. Improving nutritional habits was one of the most important changes made to home quarantine, except that we only eat homemade food, said another person who has been in the architecture business. It has also been added to our food basket, which was not before. Staying at home has helped improve family relationships, he said. We've had the opportunity to work together that we haven't had before. It also psychologically led to introspection and identification of weakness that we will definitely take seriously after these days. This citizen considered listening to radio and podcast as one of the good habits that he intends to continue. On the other hand, according to the architect, employers have been able to realize the ability of their employees to work remotely, and this will affect the way they interact in the future and will facilitate the process of handling matters. On the other hand, he pointed to the laziness and financial and economic concerns caused by corona as the negative consequences of the disease. In fact, it can be said that the virus has caused a flurry of attacks on humans. The head of United Nations Environment Program says, "Nature is sending a serious message to us humans by spreading the coronavirus and the current crisis of climate change. We humans need to rethink our approach to the environment, especially the destruction of forests and the illegal trade in animals." It seems that with the spread of corona, many countries are moving towards clean energy. Although corona appears to be a malicious virus, it is the only biological or perhaps human tool that has had the most impact in the world since World War II. In a way, no organization or country has the power to control and manage it, and it is the first phenomenon that has created crisis not only economic but also political, social, cultural, economic, emotional, personal, and moral, and has caused for the first time. Although intermittent, it has stopped all human activity in all areas and reduced the need for fossil fuels, increased attention to new fuels, and made the environment look better, such as aerial photographs, and the presence of forest animals on the streets. With the seclusion of humans, has witnessed that this is a flip for all humans not to take the earth for granted.